It's the 20th. Happy Boruto Chapter Day. Happy 20th, first of all. And let me just get right into this shit. We got Boruto Chapter 57, Eida. And the first thing that I've noticed with this chapter while reading it is it was pretty much, I wouldn't say a different format because like Chapter 56 was also fluid. This was another one. And this could be us just witnessing that Kishimoto, print game. Because what stood out to me about this chapter specifically, as opposed to other ones, is like it left few questions to be unanswered, but at the same time, it maintained a high level of suspense and introduced little plot twists and whatnot to get into the chapters of the future, right? And what I mean by this is usually we'd get some info in one chapter, and then in a following chapter, it would either confirm beliefs that stirred up within the viewers or the readers, or it would patch up information that was kind of wonky. But this one, it was just kind of like, all right, here's a premise, here's the answer to that, and also here's some shit to get you like, yo, what the fuck? What's gonna happen? What the hell is this? And I'm gonna give you your examples right here, bruh. So we get a little henchman, we got Bug. He immediately asks Code, so if you knew we had Eida out here, why didn't you go and ask Jigen? Or why didn't you go report this to Jigen, right? Code pretty much replies, I honestly didn't want to believe it. Me and that nigga Garo, we was buddies, bruh. Which is something I want to get into later on. We also get Bug mentioning that Eida's in a whole nother class than some shit that you've dealt with. This ain't like Delta, my nigga. Yet, Code's still on his high horse. Rather than, hearing it out or getting like some type of conversation between Bug and Code where Bug is explaining all the abilities and whatnot, and we're just supposed to be taking his word for how powerful she is, Code figures this out firsthand. And also, it's through literal action. Like I said, we're not reading about how cool Eida is. Code rips off the fucking doors. Bug's like, yo, dog, I didn't explain the whole shit to you, dog. Like, it's bad. So through literal action, Code takes away the opportunity of that rundown via commentary. We get to witness that power firsthand, and I think that was dope. And it's also an example of, like I said, fluidity, transitions. And we're not left hanging trying to figure out how her power works. Eida ends up breaking that down. There's like this little moment where I kind of felt like they could have teased us a bit, but so Eida brings up Kawaki eventually in the chapter, right? And rather than keeping us on edge, like, oh, why is she interested in him? Like, what's up? Is there some sort of relationship between them that we don't know about? Code kind of pretty much says it, gives us the answer. Yo, you like this nigga? Like, you have a crush on my nigga? Like, what the fuck, bruh? So, like, we're not left, in a situation where we have to read chapter 58 and that is further expanded on, like, because sometimes there's these chapters where, okay, we learned something this one chapter, and then the next chapter is like, okay, you're just pretty much confirming or expanding on what the fuck we weren't really getting in the previous chapter. This one is just like cut and paste. Like, this is what we're going with. And like I said, it didn't take anything away. It actually just pushed forward the story. Like, we were in another experience similar to chapter 56. And we even get answers to reasons why Kawaki may not even be affected by the power. We get her power and we get her weaknesses all in this one go. And we also get, it doesn't work on Otsutsuki members. It doesn't work on people related to me. So Code mentions, yo, Boruto's Otsutsuki now? Also, Kawaki's Otsutsuki now. Niggas be wanting on me for calling him Kawaki and shit. And like I said, we get back-to-back chapters of just great transitioning. So we're opening up this chapter with Code, being formally introduced to Eida, who's, first of all, like, I'm gonna get to that point later, but we get that Code is being pretty much introduced to this monster, this all-knowing monster and shit, right? And after that, we transition to the Five Kage Summit, where their main goal is, all right, we gotta stop Code. He's like the last member of the Gaara organization. He has his plan to get 10 tails. Like, they're not even aware that there's a being known as Eida. Like, their whole thing, like, they're like a step behind. We're literally watching them be a step behind, which was dope. Because us as readers, we're introduced to Eida. Them as Kage, they're being introduced to Code. They barely figured out who the fuck Code is. And Gaara had my favorite moments in this whole 5 Kage summit where he's like, dog, 10 tails, we gotta fight that nigga again? Oh, come on, bruh. And he also asked the hard question, the question we've all been kind of, you know, dying to, not really dying to know, because we don't really feel like Naruto got the heart like that. Sasuke got the heart, but we don't know if Naruto got it. And it's the same with Darui. Darui asked the question like, yo, do we trust this nigga Amado? Like, I trust Konoha. I don't trust Amado. He's just some random ass motherfucker. And then we get Gaara, can you take out your son? We get the hard-hitting questions. Like, this ain't no pillow talk. This ain't no fucking slumber party, bro. We gotta ask you the real shit. And Gaara says himself, like, all right, 10 tails, like, we've been there, we done that. Kara, okay, we fought some niggas named the Akatsuki before. My real concern is, yo, what happens if your son transforms? That's really what I'm concerned about. Is he good? And not only do we get Naruto saying, as the Hokage, I will do what is necessary. But another transition. We get him with the 5 Kage saying, look, I'm about that action, homie. Transitions right away into either a flashback or another like moment in time where Naruto is seeking other options through Amado. It's like, yo, is there another way we could do this shit? Because I don't know if I really could, you know, I don't know if Sasuke said he could do it, but me, man, that's my son, my nigga. That's my son. So like I'm saying, man, this chapter is just flowing like water. We're getting presented information. We're getting answers and more information to that information. We're not, you know, left being like, yo, what does this mean and all that? And we're being fed certain situations where we're like, yo, I don't know about that. Like, come on, bruh. The Byakugan pills? Come on, bruh. I'm not fucking with the Byakugan pills. I'm not taking them shits, bruh. I don't want you at my family dinner with them shits. Like, if I'm Naruto, you can't come over to eat. You can't be next to any water sources. You can't come over, bruh. And now that we got this new tag team partnership between Eida and Code, I will say this. The power dynamic seems to be more in favor of Eida, and Code is pretty much, once again, in that beta dog situation, that like second tier situation, which is crazy because we just went through like this phase of Code being like the favorite. Like, he was the most like mysterious dude, and then he was, you know, introduced as having all this crazy ass power, and it just seems like he went back to being the bitch boy. Not only that, this person that he's now enamored with also favors Kawaki. Same situation when he was with Jigen / Ashiki. It's the same fucking thing. It's like, okay, I worship Ashiki, but fuck, this nigga likes Kawaki more than me. I'm in love with Eida. She loves this nigga Kawaki. Which I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. It's just crazy because we just got a cover art with this dude. He was getting all this hype. We seen him throw hands, and he's just like, low-key, he a bitch again. Like, he got reduced to being bitch boy. And I do want to get into Aida's second power that we know, because we know she's all-knowing, but now we've learned that she has this power to pretty much steal your heart, which in the greater picture is pretty heartbreaking, because she even explained it herself. She's like, yeah, everyone becomes infatuated with me, but my pain comes from not knowing whether or not it's my power. Would they like me if I didn't have this power? I will never get to experience true love. Like, I want true love. I desire true love, but my power makes everyone fall in love with me. I don't know if it's valid or not, which is pretty much her case for trying to team up. Like, all right, you get your plan, I get my love through Kawaki. But my one thing is this: if she's really all-knowing, she should know that the whole divine tree plot ends the world. She doesn't get love at the end of the day. So it's a little bit, you know, screwy. I think I have another video planned for what I think is happening here, but this is, you know, like I said, I fuck with this chapter. I don't know, like, I'm about to say this shit again, right? Because I don't know if I was hitting record, but Aida's power and weakness is pretty much explained all in one go, where she's explaining pretty much her hatred towards Amado for giving her this power because she desires true love. She doesn't know if she could get valid love, true love from people, because the power she has robbed her of that. She looks at you, you in love. Is it you that loves me, or is it my power that's making you love me? I will never experience that. And that's where we get the whole team up between Code and Eida, which has me questioning her real motives, because if she's really truly all-knowing, she should know what the divine tree brings, right? She should know that it's bad. She's not going to get this true love. She's not, like, she might experience it before the world ends if she's really trying to be about that action. But I have a separate video on what I think is happening here. And I want to touch on Amado because we can't not just not talk about Amado. Amado's going to get a separate video, bruh. I'm going to just say that. Amado's getting a second video. But this motherfucker, we find out some more shit about him. One thing I do like, there's no real trust between the Kage and Amado. There's been usefulness, but they all agree that they pretty much, you know, it's we on edge about Amado, which I'm glad. I'm glad they're not just going there in there gullible. He has manufactured these Byakugan pills that I do not trust. I do not want my son eating them. There's keywords. So we figured that Delta isn't the only one with the keyword, the off switch. Kashin Koji got to make a comeback, bro. I'm waiting for Kashin Koji to just be that nigga in this series. Eida has said that Code has a specific word that belongs to him. Not only that, we learned that, and this is something I didn't really think of myself. It's like, all right, cool. Amado has placed all this tech on other people. I never really considered him doing it to himself. We found out that his eyes have tech in it. So we don't know what the fuck that nigga be on, bro. We do not know his power. Does he know how to fight? We don't know what the fuck this nigga got under his sleeve. We just know he be plotting. And just to throw it out there, I do believe Eida is his daughter, because they wouldn't put in that, oh, I can't affect blood relatives. They wouldn't just throw that out there. I can't, Otsutsuki members don't work on, and people I'm related to it don't work on. So I'm gonna throw that out there. That's that nigga's daughter. I'm saying it. That's that nigga's daughter. And now to get on some more miscellaneous type things, I did want to touch back on Boruto. I mean, not Boruto, but Boro, or Garo. I mean, Garo. Or no, not Garo, Boro. Garo's the nigga we just seen get them hands in like 189. But I hope we get another type of Gaara actuation arc within the anime where it expands more about Code, or just enters in general. Because last time you could say that was like the actuation arc was more of like a Victor and Deepa type thing. But I think we should get Boro and his little goons, as well as a Code and Boro type situation, because we learned that Code, you know, actually had a friendship with Boro. And we see his henchmen, we see Boro's henchmen. In the anime, they said he had like little spies everywhere. And then later on, we get a chapter where Code actually meets some of Boro's like goons on the side. So I think it would be dope to get more into that as far as the anime goes. Because I was looking, like, I seen some highlights, and I feel like the Gaara actuation arc is pretty, I think it's slept on. If you like an anime only and you skip that whole arc and just jumped into like where we are now, you missing out, bruh. Because although like Bug was pretty much saying like, yeah, right, you know, you would have killed Boro if you had the chance and you knew he figured this shit out. I genuinely believe Code was in a situation where he didn't want to believe his friend was like, you know, on that hokey dokey shit, you know? And I want to touch on these like pills and different angles, the Byakugan pills. So I have more questions about them. Like, I clearly don't trust them shits, but do you guys believe that this is a possible reason for Boruto and Kawaki being able to use their karma during the time skip? So maybe they have the karma ability and just no longer the DNA? And has Code been a test subject for these pills? And is that a reason why he still has the karma and has no DNA to the Otsutsuki? Because we know he has no DNA, because the whole I'm in love with you, Eida, the jutsu worked on Code. So therefore he is not Otsutsuki. He just has karma. And there has to be a way he realized, like, Amado ain't just cook up these pills and don't know if they work or not. He knows they work. But I'm interested in what Naruto does with them. Does he feed them to just Kawaki? I mean, just Boruto? Does he also say, hey, you know, Kawaki, you got Otsutsuki and you, hey, throw some of these in you, bruh. Like, what's gonna go down, bruh? We need Orochimaru. If I'm Naruto, I'm like, I'm having Orochimaru look into these shits. But peace, that's all I got for y'all. Thank y'all.